Perez, with poor performance in F1. In the past 2 decades, we have become accustomed to seeing Red Bull among the top teams in F1. From Sebastian Vettel's 4 consecutive championships between 2010 and 2013, to Max Verstappen's current 3 championships from 2021 to 2023, who is already leading the 2024 championship and may also achieve a 4th title. However, another issue is drawing attention within the team: the poor performance of its other driver, Sergio Perez. This is because, although Verstappen continues to excel, McLaren has scored more points than Red Bull in recent races, which could jeopardize the constructors' title at the end of the season. The main reason for this is that Sergio Perez has been in a terrible phase, and the last race was no different. In the Canadian GP, the driver once again saw his teammate win while he couldn't even finish the race. On Saturday, he was disqualified in the qualifying session and had to start from the 16th position on the grid. But failure struck again during the race. In the very first lap, the Mexican tangled with Pierre Gasly from Alpine, damaging his front wing. Continuing the race at the back of the pack, Perez spun at turn 6 and hit the barrier, breaking the rear wing and causing other damages to the car, forcing him to retire from the race. In an interview after the race, Perez said, "In the end, I was recovering and made a mistake at turn 6, which was one of the toughest, where many drivers made mistakes. Unfortunately, I was one of the few who couldn't control the car," he admitted, acknowledging the error. But it seems things could get even worse for the driver, who will need extra effort to perform well in the next race. This is because, despite being out after his mistake at turn 6, Perez chose to return to the pits instead of leaving his car safely parked. This did not please the F1 stewards at all, who penalized him with a 3-place grid drop for the next Grand Prix, the Spanish GP, for driving in unsafe conditions. Additionally, Red Bull was fined €25,000 for the incident. Sergio Perez's poor form has been under scrutiny in F1. In the last 4 races, the driver has not performed well. Besides this retirement, in the previous race in Monaco, he did not finish and ended up 18th in the standings. In the other 2 preceding races, he finished 8th in the Emilia-Romagna GP and 4th in the Miami GP. The situation has even sparked comments from other drivers, including his own teammate Verstappen, who sarcastically said, "But they have 2 cars." Another to comment on Perez's situation was his competitor Lando Norris from McLaren. "I think the fight is between Ferrari and us. We will keep pushing. That is one of our biggest strengths at the moment. At McLaren, we have 2 drivers who are up there, not making mistakes and getting practically everything out of the car every race. It's rare that other teams have that on the grid," said Norris, implying that Sergio Perez's mistakes are opening up the Constructors' Championship and giving other teams a chance to compete at the top for the title. Now, 9 races have passed, and there are still 15 to go until the end of the championship, which is becoming increasingly open, with competitors getting closer to Red Bull. This heightens the importance of the Mexican driver for the rest of the season, as he needs to rehabilitate to get back in the fight at the top. Currently, Perez is in 5th place in the overall standings, but the driver, who just renewed his contract with Red Bull last week, still showed confidence in a possible comeback. "I made a mistake, and I think it's time for us to regroup, put our heads down. It's a long season. We showed good form in the previous races, so there's no doubt I can get back to that," he added in another part of the interview. Finally, Helmut Marko, Red Bull advisor, also commented on the situation. According to him, it is a psychological factor. "If you consider what happened yesterday, we are actually doing well. We recovered. It's not because of the car. You can see that with Max. I think it's more psychological. The fact that it is now the 3rd time is painful," he concluded, believing that the series of unfortunate events has affected the driver's mental state, but that he has been performing well overall and can return to the top. But what do you think about all this? Do you think the 3-place grid penalty for the next race was fair? And more importantly, do you believe Sergio Perez will recover during the rest of the season and return to the top? Comment below, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.